then we are damned.
Now the thing is that when I left, I just clicked like kick everyone out instead of just leaving myself. And it's the fucking mechanical memory of my hand, like pam 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 pam. Because
Okay.
I always lead like this because I'm always the host and the meetings. And when I quit, it's because usually it's finished. Yeah, not this time. Okay.
You allow me to share screen as well.
Yeah, but it didn't ask me. Okay, it's working. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's working. It's working. Okay, perfect. So we're live, and I'll make you co-host. And we have lots of participants trying to get in the call. I mean, not lots actually, Jesse. Jonas, co-host. You should be able to share your screen now.
I am. Nice. Just wait a few seconds, right? Or a minute.
Yes, I just enabled this captions thingy because otherwise it can be painful for some people to just listen to us and our variety of accents. Beautiful accents though, but let's see how it translates using KPI. Using KPI. Async API.
Async API.
Facing API. I've said it in many ways, like a sync API. Like this. I've seen it like what was the other day. I don't know what happened the other day with Matic. Matic names is also like magic names. But it was with the name and the surname. So it was Matic or Banchik.
Magic or panic, I thought.
I love it. I love it. Łukasz Górnicki. I love it.
Isn't that bad?
Gasichki. Sergio Moya.
Well, at least it's a name.
Exactly, at least his name. So,
by the way, I can't see any comments if we get any from any of the platforms. I don't know if you can. Do you have access to?
Yeah, I have the chat open just in case.
Perfect. Just stop me if anyone is saying stuff. Well, it's 7 over. I guess we can get started. There's not that much on the agenda, so let's see how long it's gonna take. Another meeting, another week.
Another year.
Another year. That was quick. 3.0 is ready in like 10 years then.
I got asked on Twitter like when do we plan to release version 3, and I said like
This
because
decade.
the guy asked like a rough date or something like that, and I said like depends on how rough you want it to be, like this decade. So this decade maybe. Nah,
That's fairly accurate, right?
yeah. I mean, I hope it is.
Exactly. So yeah, the way this works, if you have any comments, anything you want to add to the agenda while we are at it, just let us know in the chat and we can discuss it. So before jumping into the agenda, does anyone have anything they want to ask or question? No?
Just a
do.
comment. I'm excited to see the Hive MQ talking out loud. I missed it live, unfortunately, but looks really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Thanks. So I really I have something, but let's leave it for the end after on the last
You sure?
question and answers.
Okay. So a little update. So I've been trying to push through getting everything set up so you can actually move RFCs forward. Because at the moment, there is no branches for you to target your changes for 3.0. It's only theoretical that you can have the discussion at the moment. So I've been trying to push forward whatever changes I had to do in order to set this up. And I'm kind of using Sergio's 2.4 release task list for as reference, because the release, what's it called? The release coordination document is quite large, and I just wanted the task list. So yeah. At the moment, it's currently stuck on two things. One is before creating the branch for the JSON schema repository, I really want to have this next major version released beforehand, which we also discussed in the last couple of meetings. It is more or less ready. Lucas already gave his approval last time. So I guess it's only down to you, Fran, and Dale, if you want to look it through before releasing it. Once that is done and merged and released, I can create the what's it called, the 3.0 JSON schema document, which I already have in the pipeline ready to go. The only thing I'm missing is targeting this to next major spec, which is what we agreed upon in Sergio's issue for his proposal for branch namings. Next is creating these branches, which is up to you, Fran, Dale, and Lucas to do. I added the to-do list down here, what needed to be done by you, because I don't have the permissions to set this up. So this needs to be done.
Okay.
Sometime.
You want it to be based out of master, right?
Yes.
The current master, you mean, or after splitting the definitions? What do you prefer?
After splitting it.
Okay.
Because
So
otherwise,
I will. Yeah. I mean, I can do it now, and then we can update the branch. But
yeah, exactly. So it's really whatever we find, what's called, like what makes most sense at the time. If you have time to set up the branches now, that's perfectly fine, because then I can just create a pull request and update.
That's what I was going to say. Like, you need them on the JSON schemas repo and the parser repo, right?
Yes, in the
Because
spec,
on the spec, on the spec, it's next major.
yes, and this needs to change, which I'm saying here. We currently have a branch on the spec repo called next major, but in the meantime, we discussed and we changed the naming. So
it's gonna be next major spec on the spec as well.
Yes.
Okay, weird, but okay. I mean, I don't have all the context, but yeah, sounds weird.
I can send you the comment. It's right here.
Okay, no problem. I fully trust you. No problem.
But it was just to stay consistent. I think I actually never considered it like next major spec for the spec repo is like next major. It makes sense, right? So maybe.
So yeah, okay. So that's changed now. Spec JSON schemas is the other one, and the parser, right? So I'll do this. No worries, you don't have to.
And I'm adding the bindings as well. I know we don't usually have a branch for the bindings, but when we make a major version change, like the bindings probably need to change as well, because everything is tied up towards the 2.0 structure of the document, right? Because we're gonna move operations and channels around and might not make sense anymore. So that's why I added this. So yes, that is what needs to be done in terms of branches. I have created a few other things as well. I've added some draft PRs for updating the spec, the JSON schema specification, JSON schema repository, and the parser repository with what it requires for preparing for a new update, which is standard in each one of them. But this needs to be, I'm not sure if it needs to be retargeted towards next spec. Yeah, new release. So that's in the pipeline afterwards. I also added a blog post, and I've added another page for the website for preparing towards breaking changes and migration guide, because this is something that we didn't have for the 2.0 version changes or version 2. But for version 3, I feel like we need a place where all the migration guides are for how you would manually change from version 2 to version 3, which is what the converters, for example, are going to be based on. So I prepared this, let's see. I've added this page down here, migrating to version 3, which makes kind of set up for then whenever we want to do a version 4 as well. What is within this file, and if it should be here, I have it's not set in stone. So if you have any suggestions how this can be better, please feel free to let us know. So yes, that is set up. Draft release block, I've also added that for whenever that time comes, and we can slowly add the changes there as we go. Whoops. What else? These proposals here to both expose the JSON schema files or all the schema files remotely, and in terms of updating the new package in the parser is not necessarily needed now before going forward with spec changes, etc. It can be done whenever we kind of have the time for it, right? So none of these are blocking per se. And the same with this adapting the release process. So yeah, that's kind of the update from my side, which in terms of what we need in order to be set up for moving RFCs forward. That doesn't mean you have to wait for all of these things to be fixed in order to actually come to a, maybe not a conclusion, but a semi-conclusion in your whatever issue you're championing. Like do it while everything is going on, slowly progressing it. Makes most sense. And then once an agreement has been made in the RFCs, you can, of course, all of this should be done by that time, hopefully. Yeah, that's kind of the update from me. Does anyone have any questions for it?
I just mentioned in the chat on some code that the latest points about the blog post on breaking changes, this idea, it's really cool. And I will suggest to update the release journal issue with that because it's something new.
Ah, yes, yeah.
And I think it's worth.
So it's in the terms of this migration, right?
Yeah. At least just mention that we are going to create this. I think it's worth.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not something that we have in any way discussed or considered yet, because this is the first time we actually need it. So I just took whatever made most sense for me at that time. But yeah, I'll add it to the journal. Make sure to do that. Brian, your topic, if you have time.
I'm trying to, I was trying to create a branch on the bindings repo, but yeah, I don't know. I'm facing some problems. I'll do it later. No, actually, no. Just I was wondering like what was missing to start working, like start creating actual changes. But that's it. I mean, you already answered my question. That's why I wanted to leave it for the end, just in case. So yeah, nothing else. Other than that, is there anything else blocking you folks that we could be doing, or that I could be doing at least?
Nothing else but the release of the major version for the Spec repo. That's the only blocker left after the branches are created. And then
in the branch, that's
no, the
the split. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Because that is what this is blocking. Like I can't add this before that is added, right?
Okay, so let's try to push this forward, I think, so we can. So it's only missing my review there on introduce split definitions.
Yeah,
it's only missing my approval.
That and Dale, if they'll have any comments.
Okay, so let's also make sure we ping Dale there.
Yep.
And
I think we Lucas pinged both of you. The only change that happened after Lucas approved it was I added some improved migration information. Because this migration guide is based on what we experienced in the parser, whatever I had to change over there and what we found as problems. So this is basically the rundown of that. and with an example of, for example, for AGV, whatever the problem were in there that other validation tools might experience as well.
Okay. Perfect. So then, yeah, let's just try to move forward. I'll review pull requests just after the call, and I'll create the bindings, the branch on the binding strip as well.
Yep.
Even though this is not a blocker, I think, for now, but yeah, let's do it. And we forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And
do you mind ticking off all the boxes whenever you create it, or just let me know whenever, like what?
I know, I'll do it. Just
Okay,
okay, on the work on 3.0 release. Issues, but okay. Perfect. I'll do it.
And then I can get going with preparing all of the whatever these are down here.
Sorry.
But yeah, so as soon as these are merged, then you are ready to make the change. Once these three down here are released, then we are ready.
Okay.
And that's right after the branches are created.
That's going to be cool. Let's see. The very moment that we start seeing like version 3 as something tangible that you can already use, that's going to be cool. And even I will say like, well, it's going to be possible on parser once we have parser updating the reference on the next major branch, next major spec branch. That's going to be cool because we can then play with it and actually build stuff and see how it goes.
Exactly. Another thing that I kind of noticed, like next time we're doing a major version change, don't pair it up with major version changes in the tooling. Like do it completely separate. Like being a block, like us being blocked by the split of definitions is a problem, and we shouldn't have done it. Like in backside, hindsight.
Yeah, like this is something you could have done later, but yeah, I understand. Like it's almost like at the same time, it's like, yeah, let's get rid of this as soon as possible, and so you don't have to redo your work again in the future. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Because it just creates a whole lot of blockers that's basically unnecessary, right?
I mean, if we look at it like from this perspective, it's also a blocker. The migration to the intent-driven API on the parser could also be seen as a blocker, but we're not gonna be waiting for this.
Exactly.
we can continue in parallel for sure. By the way, how is this going, Sergio? Like the intent-driven API?
I would say it's going pretty well. The reality is that this week is like a bit stopped, but we are not facing so many issues. Both Maciek and Sovik were working on this, and I would say it's going smoothly, to be honest.
Sorry.
What? Ah, the names. Big. Oh my god. You are muted, Fran. Feature are back.
He didn't want his laugh to be
I was looking at this, and it was saying like both my chicken was so big, and it was Maciek something. Anyway,
I also got out of battery of my headphones, so I guess sound is a bit mixed. Oh my god. So yeah, it's going fine. I mean, we have to consider we are writing this into TypeScript, so
is it?
I think we are okay. And
is it good or bad? Like
no, it's super. It's super good. That I mean, okay. It's more work, right? But I'm not concerned at all to achieve it, like to have this for way earlier 3.0, to be honest.
Oh yeah. No, it's ruled actually. In my opinion, this is a blocker not for development, but for release. Like we should release the parser much before the spec. Otherwise, we will not have time to test it. So yeah,
It's fine.
That's
I
a
mean,
good point.
I'm focused now on 2.4, so this is going to be released pretty soon, like next week or so. And after that, my priority is keep working on that as well, on the parser side. So I'm not gonna give a date, but you can guess. It's like
you can give a date if you want. But
I don't know.
if you want to lie, you can give a date.
Yeah.
Or just do what I did, like this decade, and that's it.
In the next 10 months, yeah.
The next, oh, you're being pretty aggressive with the deadlines.
So you're probably also gonna have to, when you release the 2.4, I'm assuming that the spec repo is gonna get a major, like that will be merged by then. So we'll need to figure out how you can merge those two together. Because if you target master and you're using the old schema setup, then we need to merge those two in some way or another. But we can figure it out.
But this is not needed, right? So you are releasing this in a new major version on spec schemas, no?
Yes. So when you want to release the 2.4 schemas, that should still target master branch. And when you do that, you are still in the 2.4 branch. You're still using the old setup, right?
Yes.
So we'll probably have to manually create the new version, but we can figure it out by then, beforehand.
That's actually a good point, and I don't know why I didn't notice. Like we
you did
but we spoke about this like
yes.
a few weeks ago, and yeah,
but we have no idea like when we wanted to merge this, so it was kind of like you can't wait forever, right?
And can you wait for a week?
I'm not Kodo. Like, who wants the problem,
we don't
right?
want this to be a blocker, and it continues to be a blocker.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So
If you merge that, so the plan is to port those changes into the new split files.
Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be hard. It's just manual, but it shouldn't be hard.
I'm wondering if we should ask the contributors to do it now, like.
But now, I mean, you cannot do it now because it's not yet merged, right?
I know, but asking, you know what I mean? Asking means dropping a comment and telling them like what are the plans.
I think it's easy enough to do once you actually have things that are merged into the large schema, because you can easily go in and take each PR, see what changed, and then apply those manually to the split definitions. Like that's easy enough to do, and that's probably the best approach.
Yeah, but I would prefer. I'm not sure if you are suggesting that you or me or we do that.
Yes, but it's just a PR into your branch, right?
Yeah, I will do it instead of asking each contributor to do it. I will just take the lead here and do just the migration after, not after, but
let's do it right before.
But that's the point. It's not
release.
after. So this should
not after,
happen.
not exactly, not after. But what I mean is that you do it before. Exactly, you do it before it's actually merged, right? But it's only one person doing it, and I think it's going to be more, let's say, agile. You don't have to wait for people.
Yeah.
And
so
you don't
we
bother
merge
people
everything into the release branch, and
Yeah.
just whenever everything is merged, then
Yeah.
we do. Yeah, I agree. It's fine. I mean, because there are not a lot of changes, and This is
Exactly.
easy.
I don't think there will be many. So
Otherwise, I would prefer like
Yeah.
contributors to do it because not because the job of the work, because of the like authoring, like having them involved in the process, even though it's a bit of pain.
Not just that, it's more error prone as well. If you do all of them, it's easy.
It's fine. Let's do it that way. All
Yeah, ping me before you release 2.4, and then we can just do it together if there's any problem.
I'm gonna drop a comment on the 2.4 issue, with just what we talk now. Okay, like people shouldn't care.
Yeah. Do you have
Alright,
anything
folks.
else?
No.
Anybody? No? I guess we're calling it early then. Thanks everyone for this time. See you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Out.